Good morning. Rise in freedom. Happy Friday. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. TGIF, TGIF. My favorite part about Friday is that it's Freedom Family Friday, so I get to hang out with the hottest babe in all of America. She's the most American babe of all. Redheads, I feel like, are the real American babes. You know, you can have your blondes, you can keep your brunettes. For me, it will always be a redheaded libertarian girl like Stephanie Peterson. Good morning,
Thank
Steffi.
you. Good morning.
And our daughter's redheaded too. Oh, she's so cute. Yes.
She is. She's still sleeping. She did
For now.
well overnight, relatively.
For now.
Yes.
All right. You ready to talk about wieners?
Yours? Sure.
No, Stephanie, no.
Your wiener is the only one I think about. I do not. No, don't entertain that idea about anyone else.
Anthony Weiner is determined to rise again. I'm really good at this, he says in an interview with the New York
I'm
Post.
assuming he's Jewish, right? Wiener. I used to go to school with a Weiner. So see, like, there's a difference. Wiener and Weiner.
Did you go to school with a Weimaraner? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. Looking very good and very nice. Looking very good and very nice.
We got to make a T-shirt with that on it. We have to do it.
We do, but I really want to see a version of... I really want to see a version of that shirt where the pineapple has a butt. Because look, hold on. Just look at this. Can you just look at my thing real quick and confirm? See the little pineapple, the little dancing pineapple? That's on the thing when I push the...
Oh, and he does have a booty?
See how he's got a butt and he's dancing? He's got a little dancing butt.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what to picture when you were talking about that. That was really super cute.
Hold on. I might actually be able to get him... I might be able to get this up to the camera. Let me just see if I can get the camera.
Wow, he's such a small little button.
Yeah, hold on. Let's see. The GoPro can show this, though. Hold on.
Oh, I'm going to share our stream on online here.
Yeah, go ahead.
While you're doing that. I got it.
Let's see if I can see.
I got to do my...
No, the buttons kind of mess it up because it's too bright. It's too bright for him, so...
Oh, well, he is super cute. So maybe we can recreate him.
He's got a dancing pineapple the butt, so I just want him to do Good Morning Pineapple, looking very good and very nice on a T-shirt. Shall we do it? Good
Everyone,
morning.
please share out the stream this morning, especially on Twitter. We need that support.
Honestly, I'm furious at what's going on with X because people are like, "No, did you set up two-factor authentication?" Yes. Did you have the? Yes, I did. Right?
Yeah, people assume that like you did something wrong. They're like, "Did you click on a porn website?"
No, I did not. None of that stuff. And I have some suspicions about how they could have got in, but it's like there's this method. It's called tunneling, where they could use like these third-party apps that we use because we have all these business stuff attached to it. Where it's like they could have found because we found the back door to post.
We did, and then
yesterday.
they shut down the back door.
They shut down the back door to post.
Yeah.
So have we contacted Twitter, Austin, to try and get your account? Yes, I have contacted them many times.
Yes.
3 times already in the last 24 hours. And they just say, give us your name, your phone number, and your blah, 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 blah. We'll get back to you. Dude, I saw this chick yesterday. She had the same thing happen to her.
Oh, Julie Kelly?
Yeah. Oh, they solved her problem pretty damn quick. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like, oh, okay, well, So
the
it's
hackers treated her a little differently. They actually changed her bio with her meme coin. And then, like, they made the post very personal. She was like, "This is for my hubby." And then she posted the meme coin.
Right.
So they made hers, like, a lot more believable, to be quite honest.
Hers was like America coin or something like this. You know? Yeah,
and it wasn't all, like, scammy looking.
Yeah, and speaking of scammy meme coins, I saw that Haley Welch, the Hawk Tua girl, she dropped a podcast. Get this. This is kind of interesting. She dropped a podcast talking about what happened, and this is the first time she's been seen in weeks.
Yeah.
Right? Well, guess what? I mean, it was a matter of minutes after she dropped the podcast that she deleted it.
What?
Yeah, she deleted it. And she was on with her lawyer. I was watching.
Why would she
you
delete
saw me.
that?
You saw me listening to it in the shower.
What did she say that would be so bad?
Well, I mean, who knows? It was a 50-minute show, and I got to listen to like 20 minutes of it while I was in the shower this morning. And I mean, she was on with her lawyer, so you think her lawyer would not be so stupid or whatever. I mean, if it's If it's okay to release.
The whole panel of people up there with her looked very young.
I think she was desperate. She's probably desperate for cash because I don't know if she really got a lot of it, honestly.
Yeah.
At least I couldn't tell. But most of the people who were running it were in Asia, they said. They had the majority of the coins.
Right.
Which, what are you, freaking stupid? I mean, I know she's dumb, but then there's like bottom of the freaking barrel. I mean, it's like... I don't know.
I really do have a feeling that she was just naive and she trusted the wrong people. And she probably legitimately thought that this would be a good idea. I truly think so. Like, I think she's just like a girl who has very little stuff going on up in her head.
What is the overhead? See, like, we're being ruled. We're being ruled by morons and midwits, okay? Right? There's the IQ bell curve, where it's like most people are kind of midwits, right? But then there's a very small percentage of the population that are totally stupid.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side of the bell curve, which is a small amount of people who are really smart, like Elon Musk, okay?
Yes.
But it's just like we are being ruled. I mean, now it's nice. We're seeing Elon Musk in the White House. We're seeing like some actual brilliant people who are doing some good work.
Yeah.
We've got 1 billion clips to play of what's going on. You are going to love, Stephanie. You are, especially tax season right now. You are going to love what we're hearing from the Trump administration when it comes to tax relief, especially for people like us, right? And then, we got that little baby, right? There's talk about child tax credits being increased right now. And it's like, I know, however you feel about tax credits and all that stuff, like, don't be mad at the fledgling parents starting families who get tax credits when they give them out by the bushel full to these giant companies and corporations here.
Well, I think of it like this. If you were robbed, would you be a little bit happier if the robber left you with $100?
Yeah. Yes.
Think of it that way.
Like, here's a tip for robbing you.
Yeah. Would you at least it would make it less bad if they at least left you with some money.
Yes.
So that's how I look at the government.
I prefer them not take it from me in the first place. and it does become a problem when you're handing out tax credits because it's like, it is unfair inherently for the certain people for it's called social engineering.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't have a baby, for all the people that have fertility issues,
and they're paying into the taxes at a different rate. And the thing is that it should be. That's why when I ran for office, I'd campaign just a flat tax. Everybody has to pay the flat tax, but then all the freaking Democrats and the stinking Republicans who are the ones who wouldn't change the system that Trump and Elon are doing would be like, well, it's a regressive tax, and poor people pay a higher percentage of their goods and service and of their necessary items into the tax. Then because they pay a higher percentage because poor people, of course. A larger percentage of their budget goes to like food and gas and the basics, right? Whereas when you're richer, it's a much smaller percentage of your pie, right? But it's a very class warfare way, of course, to do it, but which is what this is. And tax credits very much are kind of an outgrowth of class warfare in a sense. But,
so I guess we should just figure out how much do basic necessities usually cost. So we should only tax the amount of money that would be outside of the basic necessities. So we'd be like, okay, subtract this amount from this person's income.
Or you could just do what the Democrats want and just do a universal basic income.
That would solve everything, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure nobody would raise the prices by the amount of the income that's coming in. All right, calm down, guys. I'm already in a bad mood. I don't need this. I'm just not going to show up. We're going to have a good time on this show, damn it.
Yay!
Good morning, pineapples. Looking very good and very nice. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. Please do click the like button. I am still hacked on X. So if you see any weird posts over at AP for Liberty over on X, as formerly Twitter, that's not me. I don't have access to it. I'll let you know when I do. When I actually get access back to it, if I do. Something makes me feel as if they're going to just like delete it and be like, not give it back to me.
Yeah, there was somebody who showed that like their profile was blocked or like
deleted.
kicked off because of the scam.
It's going to make me so angry if they do. I mean,
that could almost be a lawsuit, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the thing. I'm paying for the service.
Yes.
So I have the premiums, it's set up, so I'm paying for it. So if I'm not getting the service that I'm paying for and they're not responding to my inquiries, yeah, then we're gonna have words very, very soon, especially because they just raised the price on that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's now $30 a month for premium over on
ridiculous.
X, right? And the quality of the service just goes down and down and down and down.
I'm even happier that I pulled out of my subscription on X, to be quite honest.
Well, and they're like, if you're not paying for it, then you're the product, and you shouldn't complain about no customer service. Well, now we're paying for it, so now we shouldn't be the product. And you should be giving us some customer service, right? Yeah. So, listen, I get Elon is performing his magnum opus.
Right.
And this is incredible, important work that he's doing. I have nothing but deep and profound respect for him for doing this. But X's customer service and their ad management system is shit. It's total shit.
I mean, Elon can't do the job of everybody.
Yes.
What is it? Does he personally deal with all of these issues?
No,
he needs to have people that he delegates to.
He does one company a week. So he does one company a week.
Oh, is that what he does?
Yeah.
Oh,
Excuse me. I'm sorry. One company a day. So it'll be like SpaceX one day, X another, right?
So maybe today is X day. Hopefully, with our.
I think he's gone for he's out of work out of service for probably 158 days because that's how long he's allowed to be a government employee.
Right.
So yeah, it's
so he's
fine.
like, I'll be back at Twitter in 158 days.
And I get
Don't
it.
worry.
Our business doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things to the rest of the country in regards to the amazing work that they're doing at DOGE. And if they can accomplish incredible things, then yes, please continue to do that. But Linda Yaccarino, the CEO of X.
Yeah, what is she doing?
Well, where you at, Linda? Wake
I know
up,
nobody
guys.
talks about Linda. They still are just attached to Elon.
Yeah.
Elon, help us.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to tweet out to Linda Yaccarino.
Maybe.
I'll tweet out to her.
Maybe. All right. So let's try and stay positive because I am very angry, and we are going to have a guest on the show today. It's not going to be Justin. Come on, guys.
Sorry.
It's Friday. We're trying to lift up the mood. You raise me up. No, Justin, but we do have a guest that people have really enjoyed in the back.
He's been on before.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Devin Erickson, he's the author of Theft of Fire, has been ejected from a publishing group that he's a part of. And because he's a right-wing conservative. Now, Stephanie is interested in asking him questions about his personal life, which is quite fascinating. And they're not like him and his wives. They're not like secretive about.
So is he open about his lifestyle on Instagram and things like that?
Yeah. It's not like he's not someone who is private about it necessarily. He's talked about it in other interviews and things like that. But I didn't prepare him to talk about that today.
Sure.
And we'll ask him if he wants to talk about it. If he does, great. If not, then no big deal, right? But it is funny though, getting canceled for being a right winger, but you're a bigamist. Kind of funny. Like, oh, you're so extreme. We can't have these fascist bigamists in our circle. You know what I'm saying? Good morning, Derek Mollier.
Hi.
I shall not be mollified. My anger is righteous. Derek Mollier. First time here, buddy. Nice to see you. Glad to have you here, man. Hope you'll come back and join us regularly. Today's Freedom Family Friday on our Wake Up America show. If today's the first time you're watching the show, we'd love to have you be a regular guest. Today's show is a little weird, a little fun, a little goofy. The rest of the days are kind of more regular news days. But my smoking hot, redheaded libertarian wifey, Stephanie, is over there with me if you don't know her. We're talking about Weiner. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about maybe divorced women. BuzzFeed. My wife loves BuzzFeed, so here it is.
Oh, I do.
Here's the headline. Divorced women anonymously, so it could be BS, revealed the hard realities, in quotes, of marriage, that's us, that no one talks about, and it's gut-wrenching. Oh, man, what a
marriage
buzz.
Is just terrible.
It's gut-wrenching.
Cuddling with a man every night.
She does like that.
Enjoying each other's company.
And in each other's bodies.
Having cute babies.
Yeah, very cute babies. All right, so that's on the list. We'll talk about that. I've also got a million billion clips. You want to just see something that's going to make you happy, Stephanie? Why not? You want to see, let's just see something that's going to make everybody happy. What do you say, guys? You ready? Let's have some fun. Let's be in a good mood.
Oh, sorry. Calvin came in.
That's okay. Calvin, just don't break the lights.
Calvin likes the heater.
So these are the tax priorities of the Trump administration that the president has laid out for members in that meeting today. So these are the tax priorities of the Trump administration that the president has laid out for members in that meeting today. No tax on tips, which is obviously a very public campaign promise that the president made. No tax on seniors' Social Security. No tax on overtime pay. Renewing President Trump's 2017 middle-class tax cuts. Again, these are the president's priorities. Adjusting the SALT cap, eliminate all the special tax breaks for billionaire sports team owners, close the carried interest tax deduction loophole, tax cuts for Made in America products. This will be the largest tax cut in history for middle-class working Americans. The president is committed to working with Congress to get this done.
Okay, so
Nice.
lot to unpack there. Okay, first of all, no tax on senior Social Security, obviously. What the hell? Can you imagine you work your whole life and you're paying Social Security, your tax for Social Security, then you got to pay
That's messed up.
taxes
So they
on your
are
Social
currently?
Security?
That's how it works? Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You work your life, all your life, pay taxes. All Social Security is taxes, and then you pay taxes on your Social Security. Yeah.
In our income tax, we pay Social Security tax.
Yes, and then when you
That's-
collect your Social Security, pay tax on your. Oh man, I mean
Okay.
the
Well, that's
DOGE
a good
cuts.
one.
The DOGE cuts can't come fast enough. No tax on overtime pay. Okay, but here's my.
I mean, income tax, that's part of income tax.
Here's the problem with that. Here's what I want to know. Like we're 1099s, right? We're employers.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. No tax on overtime pay, just for the employee, I'm guessing.
Yeah, for a W-2,
Right.
someone working 40 hours a
God
week.
damn it.
Yeah.
You know, like they'll never let us win. You
No.
know, they'll never let us win.
No.
We'll never be able to get up there. You can't, once the big guys get up the top of the ladder, they pull the ladder up from the top so that small businesses aren't able to get up there.
Mm-hmm.
Quest Fanning says the real Chads have red-haired little clone daughters. That's funny. Brad Beckman says, I'm good with that, LMAO. Yeah, Brad, just wait.
Right.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait
Brad
till you
could
start
get
your
it.
DJ business, Brad. One day you'll be like, oh, Austin, I feel your pain. No tax on overtime pay. That's good. Renew Trump's middle tax cuts. That's good. There was a pretty sizable tax cut that
What's
Trump
considered
enacted.
middle class?
Yeah, I know, right?
That's my question. Who meets that mark there?
A great question, Steph. Adjusting the SALT cap, that's state and local tax deduction. Not sure what they'll do with that exactly, but this had to do with, it used to be that you could write your state tax, your federal, it was either your federal taxes off of your state or your state off of your federal. And this was a way, and it's a little early, so I'm trying to think about how it is. So in New Jersey, for example, they have high taxes. Okay, so you could write your part of your state taxes off of your federal taxes. Mm-hmm. So if you lived in a blue state with heavy taxes, mm-hmm. you were the blow was cushioned because you had that state and local tax deduction on your federal taxes. Well, guess what? They got rid of that, and now if you live in a blue state, you have to pay the full cost of your state and local taxes. There's no deduction on the federal side of it. There we go. Okay. So now I got to figure it out. Okay. But I think people who choose to live in high tax areas, there's a good argument there to say that they should have to suffer the slings and arrows of what the policies they're voting for and asking for locally, right? So, anyways,
absolutely.
Eliminate all special tax breaks for billionaire sports team owners. If this is the defunding of the stadium money that they're getting and all that, then I'm for it. The problem is that on the local level and the state level, they spend a lot of money too, to try and get the stadiums to come to,
for Kansas City.
Yeah, so Super Bowl's coming up this weekend, so people are talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're.
Is it here? I wonder if it's in Missouri. I don't even know where it is.
I have no idea. Right?
Yeah, I don't follow.
We're watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
but they want to take the Kansas City Chiefs are trying to go to Kansas. They've been a Missouri team forever. Right, and the Royals are trying to do the same, or they're trying to build a stadium in downtown Kansas City, Missouri, which I'm sure would be nice if they pull it off.
Yeah.
But I just don't like. It really pisses me off to be threatened by a sports team franchise, And to say, I know I'm speaking ill of the Chiefs who, they're going to the Super Bowl this weekend. Everybody's really excited about it. And I'm happy for them. I want them to win. It's good for the economy. But otherwise, it's like people get angry if you don't like watch, or they're like, oh, you don't watch, you're not part of the games. It's like, well, you don't play any of my video games, right? How come you're not reading the books I'm reading? What's wrong with you? You don't you're not interested in what I'm interested in, but everybody's interested in it. Well, that could be part of the problem, is that, I try, and my whole life I've tried to just observe the herd, look where the crowd is going, and then go the other way, right? It's been a good investment strategy, right? It's been a good social strategy, right? To avoid the crowd. You avoid the crush, and, you don't dumb yourself down.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
So tax breaks for billionaires, eliminating those. So then I wonder if those tax breaks would go to like Walmart and, all the big companies and all those billionaires.
For which one?
The special tax breaks. I wonder if he's going to start to eliminate those.
Sports team owners.
So just sports. Okay.
Just sports teams.
We're starting there.
Yeah. The Super Bowl's in New Orleans. Thank you, Cecilia. Love you. No tax on. You. Now, here's the one that I think. Okay, tax. Here's the two that could really impact us. One is tax cuts for made in America products. So we work really hard to source our products from the United States.
Right.
Not all of our products in our shop are sourced from the United States.
So I wonder if they can just do it for certain items in our shop. That'll be really complicated. I wonder if we have to fill out a form being like, this product is from America.
Well, it is a whole stinking stupid process of the whole Made in America thing anyway.
Yes.
But the thing is, but the thing is that when it comes to what's made in America, it's kind of like the way I try and explain this to conservatives is they all hate the way the ATF works when it comes to defining a firearm. Mm-hmm. They have these things called 80% lowers.
Oh, yeah.
You know what an 80% lower is, Stephanie?
Is it that 3D printed part?
Well, it is. It can be 3D printed,
okay.
Yes. But do you know why it's considered 80% instead of 100%?
Because it's only part of the gun and not the whole thing?
Correct. And so an 80% lower is an incomplete firearm, right?
Yes.
But once the trigger is installed, right, in the barrel, once the trigger is installed into the 80% lower, then the lower becomes 100% lower, and it must be stamped with a serial number,
right?
And then what happens is, you're allowed one unserialized. You're allowed to manufacture one unserialized pistol. Now here's the thing. I've got one sitting around here somewhere.
Oh yeah, it's on the floor.
Yeah, I think I put it in the garage. But here's the thing: once it becomes 100%, it's considered a gun. Okay, but it doesn't fire anything. It's not a gun. Okay, it's 80% there, right? It's not a gun. Okay, it's something, but it's not a firearm. You have to put a barrel on. You've got to put on a grip and all this stuff to actually make it a gun.
Right.
But the ATF, in order to classify, in order to be able to write down a law, has to describe exactly what a gun is. Right, so in Mongoose says an 80% lower has to be milled out to be 100% lower. Yes, exactly. Thank you.
I'm sure Robbie Thurman would know what an 80% lower is.
Yes.
He used to make guns.
Yes, so it's missing holes, says Mongoose 87. That's correct. And so here's the thing: when it comes to Made in America, it has to be. I'm not sure what the standards is, but I'm pretty sure it's like 80%.
Right.
80%.
In order to qualify.
Right. But do you remember Milton Friedman's iPencil?
Oh, yes.
What was that about?
It was about all of the things that come together to make a pencil.
Right. And what was the important lesson about that?
Was it the invisible hand? No, that's something else.
Well, certainly that's an aspect of it, but I mean,
how to make a pencil.
Right.
I think of how to make a pineapple pizza because that's the play on that.
So
it's just talking about all of the different supplies that you need.
Nobody knows
knows
how to make a pizza.
Right.
Right. And why does nobody know how to make a pizza?
Because each person provides different parts for it. Mm-hmm. Nobody provides the whole thing. So it's like the pepperonis, somebody provides those. Mm-hmm. The cheese, somebody else provides those.
Right.
So They all come together to make a whole.
Right, and eat to make the pizza.
Yes.
And some people were trying to dunk on me the other day when I was explaining to this to them because they were advocating for tariffs.
Yes.
And so I was trying to explain to them how nobody can make a pizza, right? And they're like, I watched a video and they had a cow that made the milk and then they had the tomatoes. And then
they
I
had
said,
the whole thing.
They had the whole thing. And guess what I said? I said, and how much does the pizza sell for?
Right.
Yeah, you know.
Yes. And where did they get the cow from?
Yeah, and where
The cow was not just like, well, unless they literally did breed cows there.
A cow could be domestic, but here's the problem: you can make you can make a pizza,
yes,
but you can't sell that pizza. I mean, you can, but you're going to sell it. Guess what?
Right.
At a loss, big loss. If you try and sell that pizza, if you try and engage in, as soon as you enter the marketplace, and you're like, how much can I sell this pizza for? Well, this pizza cost me $16,750 to make. Okay,
right.
Well, I don't think anybody's going to buy your pizza for 16, right? It's
right.
that supply chain, right? So it's the same with the firearm where the feds need something to define. It's the same with Made in America. The feds need to define it so that they can regulate it, so that they can tax it, right? So that's why I tell people, I'm like, I understand the concept of people feel there's a strong emotional pull that people feel when there's something's made in America, but technically, Toyotas are made in America according to the feds.
You know, I asked this question about my
company.
Subaru when I had it because they're all about made in America. And they're like, well, actually, some of the parts are made in Mexico. And so, yeah, even like Ford cars and all of the America-made cars, they have parts that are from Mexico and other countries.
Right.
There's nothing completely made here that I know of.
Like even what's funny too is that like when it came to the Teslas, because this was a big story this week, was like the tariffs on Monday, was that it was a few years ago that all the Democrats were saying just buy a Tesla, just buy a, because of climate change, they say they're, everybody just buy a Tesla because it's an electric car. And conservatives were like, well, look how much these cars cost. This is the Democrats are out of touch because they're telling us to buy an $80,000 vehicle. And we're making fun of them. But then once Trump came out for the tariffs, we found out, of course, Tesla is actually the car that's most manufactured in the United States. Not entirely, but most.
Okay.
And now it's all the conservatives saying, well, just buy a Tesla.
So we can get the tax break.
Buy the $80,000 car. Because it's made in America to an extent. Not entirely. Not entirely.
Yes.
But again, we're being ruled by,
I'm really not an America supremacist in terms of where my products are made. I was just sharing with you, there's a new store that just came to St. Louis that is Japan products. It's like a Japan gift store, and I'm so excited to go there. I love imports from Japan.
Yeah.
Please import everything from Japan.
Well, here's the thing. People are like, America doesn't make anything. We're not manufacturing anything. Yes, we are. Everything that is developed that's interesting or cool or unique comes from one of two countries. You know where it comes from?
Japan.
No.
Oh, Hong Kong.
No. Where all of the products that are developed that are the most groundbreaking products, from pharmaceutical breakthroughs, technology breakthroughs, to your mobile phones, everything. Where are they developed and conceived?
California?
In two countries.
Oh, two countries.
Two countries. Name the two countries.
China?
No.
No, not even China. Mexico?
No.
No? What?
No.
But those are the main places.
No,
Vietnam.
the two countries that develop all of the big products, including your iPhone.
Yeah.
Where does your iPhone say it's made?
Oh, I don't know.
You can't see it on because of your beautiful Fort Liberty Shop phone case.
Phone case.
Yes, but where does it say it's made?
I mean, I'm assuming
You don't
iPhone
know?
is made in Asia.
No. I mean, yes, but no. Where is it designed and developed?
America?
Yes, where in America?
Silicon Valley?
Yes, in what city?
In San Francisco?
Starts with a C.
I should know this.
Made in Cupertino.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't have
California.
thought of that. Yeah.
Every iPhone is stamped made in Cupertino, California.
Well,
yes.
I guessed every other country except this.
Do you know what the second country is that develops and produces the most breakthroughs, has the most patents? Is
Canada.
But has like the most. It's one of the tiniest countries in the world.
Oh, tiny.
It's one of the smallest countries in the world. Oh. So they have no real manufacturing base.
Switzerland.
Right? No, honey.
Israel.
That's correct.
They make stuff? What do they make?
Yeah, everything.
What?
Yeah.
I have nothing that says made in Israel.
Okay. Look up. Okay, so we're talking about patents, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about patents
Right.
and designs and trademarks, right?
Yes.
So who the countries that are actually making everything, remember it says it's stamped made in Cupertino, okay? Right? That phone was not made, it was made in Cupertino, right? But it wasn't made in Cupertino.
The people who thought of the idea were in Japan or China.
No, the people who thought of the idea were in Cupertino, California.
Oh, and then they outsource it to China.
And then they
China and
outsource
Japan?
the actual build of that phone, the creation of the microchips, everything in there, right? Nobody knows how to make a pizza.
Okay, my mind was just blown here. I guess my IQ is actually lower than I thought.
Yes.
I thought that China literally thinks of these ideas and makes them.
No, China steals these ideas. China doesn't really make shit.
Oops.
Yeah, China doesn't make shit. They don't make anything. They steal.
They just have the sweatshops.
They're thieves. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're communists. They can't possibly, conceive of certain things other than certain weapon systems, right? That the United States could do if they were actually focused, but since they've been super DEI and gay lately.
Well, that's really good to know. I've always looked down on America because I didn't think we were smart enough to make anything.
Well, we're getting dumber, but
Yes.
but thankfully, Trump has said that it's time to abolish the Department of Education, so we'll get smarter.
Yay!
But you can't make things in America if you don't reduce manufacturing costs in the United States.
Correct.
It's too expensive.
Yes.
And when they're doing, and they do things like, they make the tax cuts. Well, they make the tax cuts for like the W-2s, but then they don't get, like, the small businesses don't actually get a tax. But like,
we need some small business tax cuts.
it's like we pay a self-employment tax.
Yes.
What the hell? That's the
Right.
dumbest thing ever.
And quarterly taxes? So stupid. How we have to calculate it every year. Just let me pay it at the end of the year. As long as we pay it by the end of the year, we should be fine.
No, they force us. The thing is, Stephanie, is that America is still like very much an oligarchy. I'm very optimistic on what Elon and Trump are going to do. But I mean, the thing is that the Democrats, they're on the retreat now, but they're going to come back.
Oh,
right?
yeah. 4 years from now, they are going to come back, punching, kicking. They are ready to win.
Exactly.
Yes.
They are going to come back. Right now they've got, Nancy Pelosi's got her cane and walker. I think I've got a video of Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, check this out. This is Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, goodness.
Look at her. So she had an injury recently.
Oh, okay. So it's not because she's like declining.
Yeah, it's all that too. That too, Stephanie. Yeah, she's declining. Look at her. Decrepit.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at her. She's got 2 canes.
And look
right
at all
there.
these.
Yeah, they got to
people
have
surrounding
1,
her.
2, 3, 4. No, it's probably 3. It's 3 bodyguards and 1 like staffer or whatever, something like that. Okay, look at him.
Oh, see, he's holding his jacket. You say whenever they do that, they have a gun under there.
That's right. He's got like a machine pistol or
my goodness.
some kind of hand cannon underneath there, so that
People really want
to.
to hurt her, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I understand that she's disgusting and needs to go the hell away, but I mean. We don't need to be attacking government officials like this. So, I mean, on one hand, like, they should obviously have protection. On the other hand, they suck.
And it says, reminder, Mitch McConnell fell yesterday twice and left in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Who's Jimmy Joe Patty over in the chat? First time here? What's up, man?
Hi. How are all these people finding us today? Where did you come from, new people? Tell
I don't know.
us.
Jimmy Joe Patty. That's an Irish right there. So introduce yourself, Jimmy Joe. We'd love to make your acquaintance. Do us a favor. Click like. And if today's your first time watching us, which I assume it is, Jimmy Joe, then click the follow button as well. We'd be glad to have you become a regular guest on the Wake Up America show. And this show streams live Mondays through Fridays from 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. It's a great way to start your day. They fired one of the DOGE kids, Steph. Well, he resigned.
One of the kids? Why?
Because of racism.
He was being racist?
Yeah.
What did he do?
Ironic, isn't it? He posted some really racist stuff, and he's white. It looks white, even though his last name is Elez. I'm not sure.
He might be
Elez.
like Christina Aguilera. She's Latina.
Okay,
but
no
she looks
idea.
very white.
No idea. No idea. Jimmy Joe Patty says he's from Noonan, Georgia.
Hello.
He's a longtime fan, former member of the LP. Well, good to see you, brother. Well, we're glad to have you here, man, and we hope that we can convince you to be a regular guest with us here on the show. So don't forget to click follow. So Marco Ilez, if he got, they say he resigned, but he had to go because he had some pretty racist posts. And people are like, you can say, I know what people are going to say, and I haven't read the post yet. They're going to say, oh, it was probably just this or that people say is racist, but it's really not, right? But
so he's being judged for his social media.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he actually did something racist at work.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. He was one of the 2 kids who had the read-only access to the Treasury.
Okay.
So the left is watching him very closely.
Oh, I'm sure.
Watching him very closely.
Yes.
I do like how CNN was reporting on this, actually. And someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Ilez is the big balls in question. Hold on, let me see here real quick.
Big balls?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Hold on one second. Where is the stinking clip? I know I have it.
You've got so many good ones.
I know.
Here.
He's got big balls and she's got big balls. But
we're talking a lot about wieners and balls here today, aren't we?
Wieners and balls. Why don't I have it? Dang it. I had the CNN video here in a second. Hold on. Here we go.
There it is.
Yes. So this is a 19-year-old high school graduate who has used the unfortunate nickname Big Balls online. So that would be one way that we could refer to him. He is now working at Musk's behest inside DOGE. And we looked into his background. And so we found, several notable things, Aaron, one of which is that this individual has founded multiple companies, including one with another unfortunate name, Tesla.Sexy LLC, which he established in 2021. He would have been around 16 years old. Now, this LLC controls dozens of web domains. Yes, so this is a...
Okay, dude, so
Why was he even hired? That's the thing. I remember when DOGE said, send in your applications, we're hiring, you're not going to be paid very much. Why would they hire a guy like this?
Because
he must have had a great interview.
Well, here's the thing. So you start a bunch of businesses at your early age, right? But because the problem, of course, there's a lot of upside to the ideology or the ethos of move fast and break things. That's like Silicon Valley, right? Move fast, break things. But then the problem is, of course, if you're moving fast and you're breaking things, some things you may not necessarily want to break, right? We need to move fast and break things. Don't get me wrong. We need to have people who are moving fast and breaking things. But you do want to avoid getting into a situation where, Donald Trump worked really hard to ensure when he was running for office. Do you know the very fine people on both sides hoax? Are you familiar with the story?
Oh, yes, where he was talking about the Nazis.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so he did not say that the Nazis were very fine people on both sides. He specifically called them out and specifically derided them. He accidentally, I guess, had dinner with Nick Fuentes when Kanye and him showed up to the Mar-a-Lago.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the next day when he found out who he was, he specifically denounced him and said he wanted nothing to do with him. Donald Trump and his team have worked very hard to assuage people that he was not a raging Nazi or a racist, because that's what the left was always calling him.
I just don't understand how you can accidentally have dinner with Nick Fuentes. This reminds me of like an improv game, the party game where you're like, who's coming to the party? And then someone knocks at the door and you're like, hello, who is it? And then he's like, Nick Fuentes. And then you have to like go along, yes, and it. And be like, oh, hey, Nick, let's have some breadsticks.
It's a gay Mexican Catholic Nazi Groiper. Yay. Heil Hitler.
I know humans are flawed, but we're making a little too many mistakes here.
He does the Elon Musk salute,
This is just...
that's move fast and break things.
Absurd.
That's move fast and break things. But Marco Ilez, which is kind of sounds strangely ethnic.
It does.
Marco Ilez, 25-year-old Musk guy, He resigned, but here were his posts that were deleted from his X account. So here's what he did.
Okay.
So this is what the Daily Coast, and they're hardcore lefties. This is they reported, but I confirmed it from other outlets as well.
I'm sure it's legit.
He advocated for repealing the Civil Rights Act. Okay. I've advocated for repealing portions of the Civil Rights Act. So not all of it, but remember when I said you shouldn't have to bake the cake?
Yes.
That's what that argument is.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I don't think that Christians should be forced to bake the gay wedding cake, and I don't think that Jews should be forced to bake the Nazi wedding cake. Right. That's part of the Civil Rights Act. The part of the Civil Rights Act that deals with the government discrimination, I agree. Yes, the government should not be able to discriminate. That's the proper lawful authority of the government.
Right. We shouldn't have separate drinking fountains.
Right. But Christian bakers should not be forced to bake the homosexual wedding cake.
Right. If it's a private business, do what you want.
Right. But the government hasn't defined it as a private business because they say since you're open to the public, you'll be regulated according to the Civil Rights Act. And that's how they've gotten the camel's nose under the tent to like control all of us in many ways, right?
So maybe that's what this kid means. Maybe he's just like, so you're giving
the
private
benefit of the doubt.
businesses to not have to bake
okay, so at this point you're saying not racist yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to give him some credit here. I'm trying to be on his side and see his side of the situation.
I think that's very wise.
Okay.
So let's go on here. And he backed a eugenic immigration policy in the weeks before President Trump was inaugurated.
So eugenics would be letting in certain white people?
Well, I mean, you could assume. I think it's safe to assume. That that's what Marco Ilez, nacho taco, frozen margarita.
I don't think he's all
Marco
white.
Ilez.
We need to 23andMe him and see what he is.
What's so funny too is that in like the modern internet age, the biggest like racists and like the biggest Nazis are like black guys and Mexicans and shit I'm seeing, right?
Yeah, it's really something psychological in that you learn to hate yourself.
And two, you get like a lot of these right-wing conservative accounts that are like the return of the West kind of guys. And their profile pictures are always these homoerotic photographs of them like with, or like men with like shirtless men, where like my brother, the type that my brother would be like, oh, that's kind of nice, right? There's always like usually the people who are like the loudest are the ones who are the most compensatory.
Yes.
Okay, so far, I mean, Whitey White is like, this kid is based, but eugenics immigration.
Well, if Whitey White likes him, then.
Well, hold on. We haven't deemed him racist. Wizard Greg joins us. Good morning, Wizard Greg.
We do have some new names.
It's nice to see. I love it. Okay,
hi, Wizard.
So here's the thing. Hold on. So we've deemed him not racist yet.
Yes.
Okay, based on what we've heard, but we're still reading. The next thing. This is what he tweeted last September. He tweeted, "You could not pay me to marry outside of my ethnicity." Okay.
Well, what is your ethnicity, dude?
Well, what is Marco Ilez? I mean, is it another like Mexican Nazi or what is it?
Here, maybe
he looks white to me.
Maybe I'm getting a little personal here, but I will say I've only been attracted to white men in my life.
Okay, that's racist.
I know.
Just kidding.
But in terms of my attraction,
no.
You know, my sexual attraction, I am only attracted to white men.
Okay, well, there you go. That's common. We're the most based. We're the most based. But no, I'm kidding. But Marco Ilez, I don't know. His ethnicity is in question. Last September, he says, "You could not pay me to marry outside of my ethnicity." Okay, well, you couldn't. I mean, you couldn't pay me to marry outside of my ethnicity, but because. That would be weird if somebody were to pay me to do something like that.
Right. It just sounds like a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke. It sounds like a joke, right? You know, that's fine. You want to marry, everybody who wants to marry their own race should be allowed to marry their own race. You can marry whoever the hell you want.
Right.
You know,
there are a lot of complications when you marry outside of your own race.
Yes.
In society.
Yeah, of course. Of course, right?
I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying, it's not true love. I'm just saying I personally... I probably wouldn't do it, to be quite honest.
I mean, there's a little cultural gap between you and I because I was raised a Christian and you were raised Jewish, even though you weren't like super Orthodox or anything like that, right? Yeah. But like, there's a certain like shared. When you have a shared ethnicity, a shared ancestry, a shared racial history, right? Then it helps. Mm-hmm. I have friends who did interracial or in interethnic marriages. And most of them are happy, but like sometimes they'll say, like I don't get along with I have nothing in common with my wife's Chinese family. You know what I mean? Things like that. So
yeah, the more similarities you have in terms of values and upbringing, I think that's going to make a relationship easier.
Okay, so we're saying so far, we're saying not racist. Okay, so Marco Ilez, not racist yet. Okay, some things questionable, could be jokey, could be taken a certain way.
A lot of this is personal preference here so far.
Okay,
not too bad.
Next thing here on the list, in reference to Israel's war against Hamas, he wrote, "I would not mind at all if Gaza and Israel were both wiped off the face of the earth."
I mean, I've never heard that before. That's actually a really interesting thought.
I mean, you don't give a shit about the Middle East.
No, I mean, I don't have any family out there.
No.
Nobody in Israel that I know.
Right.
But that's so interesting. Usually you hear people say, I want Israel to be gone, or I want the Gaza Strip to be gone. But you never hear someone say, I want both to be gone.
Well, see, my thing
that is so interesting.
My thing is, I'm a greedy capitalist.
Yes.
In some ways, I'm more Jewish than you. But I like the fact that Israel contributes to the arts and the sciences and to development of patents. And I do, you know, I think if you're a civilized nation, I'm for you, right? I'm for an advanced civilization, right? If they're, unless they're communist, you know, if they're barbarians, and I'm not for the civilized man. So I prefer the Israelites to the Gazans because I think Hamas is a backwards civilization. Just like I don't feel bad for the Native Americans, right? You know, I don't feel bad for the Gazans, especially because they've had ample opportunities in the modern world to make something of themselves. Like the knowledge is right there, right? They were given boodles and boodles of cash, and instead of doing, you know, anything worthwhile with it, turning it into like, you know, a Mar-a-Lago on the sea, they decided to engage in terrorism. And they've been kicked out of every country they have, and they've been put in that situation. They finally had their own little spot, and they just blew it. They just absolutely blew it, you know? So we'll see
like
what happens.
The
I don't know
bad stepchild.
Yeah, I don't know if the United States will take it over or not, but so
yeah, well, I can see though, you know, when you have like, I'm looking at it as like two siblings are fighting, and you're just like, I'm not going to let either of you win. I'm just going to make both of you lose. You know, like sometimes you just want to say, stop fighting. This is stupid. Just get rid of the problem. I guess that's probably what he's saying.
So I'm not. So we haven't landed on this kid is racist yet, because I don't think it's inherently racist to say.
No, he's got some really interesting viewpoints though.
Yeah, and very extreme viewpoints. Very extreme. Yeah. Right. But here's the thing. That's not necessarily racist to say you think Gaza and Israel should be wiped off the map.
No, because then who is he against?
It may be callous, right? But I mean, you know, this is a common view for people who are America first and isolationists specifically, right? They don't care about anything in the world but the United States. So then, not racist yet, right? So we got two more tweets posted that he's made. He said we should normalize Indian hate.
Oh, that's not cool. Okay, so that's sounding racist. I mean, he's tearing away at Vivek. What the heck? Why would they hire somebody who wouldn't like Vivek?
He said that, exactly. He said that we should normalize Indian hate. I'm talking about the prevalence of people from India.
That's discriminatory there.
Yeah, I think that's pretty clearly racist.
Yeah.
But he's got one more. Maybe this is his chance to redeem himself. Okay. Let's see what he says. Maybe this goes against it. Are you ready for the next post?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the final post. We'll judge him. I think you can clearly say whether or not he's really racist at the end of this one. In July of last year, he posted, "Just for the record, I was racist before it was cool."
Okay, so he's a self-admitted racist.
There you go.
He's saying, I am this.
Yeah. So
and nobody checked this out before he joined DOGE. I mean, how irresponsible.
Moving fast and breaking things, right?
I don't know. I'm starting to definitely question.
But again, you know, his name's Marco Ilez. So I mean, like his origin is a little dubious, right? So anyways, but they don't want, you know. Here's the thing: Americans really don't want racists in charge. They don't.
No.
If they, you know, that's the thing is that I think that if Donald Trump actually had said the things that the left accused him of saying, or the things that they accused him of with like the Charlottesville situation, I don't think that he would be the president of the United States right now, right? I don't think Donald Trump really is racist, to be quite honest, right?
I'm sure he has friends from all walks of life.
Yeah, because I mean, I think if you hate someone just because of their national origin or ethnicity, you can't even see individuals at all, you're an idiot, right? You don't need to be in charge of anything, right? Like you can understand that like stereotypes might exist for a reason, but the way like Gavin McInnes talks about it, for example, is you can like acknowledge stereotypes while also suggesting that every individual that you come into contact with should be given an opportunity to prove or deny, to prove the stereotype true or not.
Oh, of course.
Right? Because there'll always be someone who's going to prove an exception to a rule, but then there might be a rule for a reason. And if that's racist, well, then what it is, right? So it's the difference between, libertarian nationalists like ourselves and culture nationalists who, like, she said specifically she would never vote for Vivek Ramaswamy, right?
Yes,
remember that?
I remember.
So, but I would.
So
right?
she's just like this guy.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who are going to celebrate this, right, and think that that's a good thing, right? But he's a smart kid, but not smart enough to even if you felt these things, if you're really smart, you keep your mouth shut. But
to me, it's embarrassing.
It is, yeah.
It's like we're trying to do something good here, and there's always some, weird libertarian anarchist type that just smears, butter on everything.
Well, it's like, here's the thing, you'll get the naked fat guy dancing on stage, right, acting like sleaze, and then they'll see, oh yeah, obviously these are not the people that you want in charge, right?
No.
And then it's like you'll get like the people who do the Elon Musk salute knowingly, right, meaningfully, not autistically, right, but more literally, and then they're sleaze, and you think, these are obviously not the people that we need to be having in charge. And then you have people like Anthony Weiner or Gary Johnson, and they're sleazy in a different way, but these are not the people that should have in charge.
I actually told James Weeks to his face that I would not vote for him.
Yeah.
He came to my Libertarian Party meeting in Oakland County in Michigan.
Yeah.
And he was like running for some office at the time, some local office. And he was like, will you vote for me? You should vote for me. And I said, honestly, no. I was like, I don't respect you. You have to act better in order to get people to like you.
Yeah.
So I actually said it to his face. I was like, no, I wouldn't vote for you.
Yeah, I don't respect this kid because regardless of if he feels that way or not, maybe he's joking. Right? Maybe he's just being a stupid kid. I
have a feeling a lot of it is probably tongue in cheek.
Yeah, or here it is too. It's like it's cool to like virtue signal racism online now. So it's like, But here's the thing. If you're not smart enough to not post that online and then to go try and seek some like high government job and think you're going to be able to do that, like, again, are you really that smart?
Right. He's so lucky to get into DOGE.
I know.
He ruined
and he
it.
blew it.
And he probably blew future jobs that he could get.
Yeah, and if he really is talented and amazing, and he could help us, like he blew an opportunity to be a public servant and to do good for the American people. So I mean, it's embarrassing, but when you're young, you're dumb. Right, in certain ways, right?
Yeah.
You can be a genius in some ways and a complete idiot in others, right? Socially retarded, my mom used to call it, right?
Yeah.
See you later, Luke Sacker. Thanks so much for hanging out with us
Bye,
this morning,
Luke.
brother. Appreciate you. We've got an interview coming up.
Yes.
We got to go. It's it's Devin Erickson. He's an author of Theft of Fire, a science fiction author, and he's been canceled. I thought we weren't canceling people anymore, but we're going to talk about why he has been run out of town on a rail on the publisher circuit. We'll talk about that when we get back. It's the Wake Up America show on the Not Racist for Liberty Network. We'll be right back, guys.
Are you tired of the strange radioactive effects of leftist culture? Do you ever wonder what happened to good old-fashioned American values? Well, fear no more, because there's a new force fighting back against the cultural rot of today. Introducing Culturama, a right-of-center talk show that's taking back the future today. hosted by none other than blonde bombshell herself, Daniela Pensack. She's not just talking, she's taking culture back, with sharp takes, brilliant guests, and a few surprises along the way. Tune in to the live video podcast twice a week, because the future doesn't have to be weird. It can be Culturama!
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
Conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
Do you hate the deep state? Do you reject the Antichrist in all his ways? Do you believe that aliens controlled LBJ to assassinate John F. Kennedy? Did you know that the shot can put chemicals in you that will make you more sensitive to 5G? Do you love America? Do you want more freedom? Do you like smoking hot red-headed libertarians? Then the AP for Liberty shop is for you! Check out all the awesome new merch and have a happy new year! Fight the deep state, reject the Antichrist. Visit AP for Liberty shop and get your patriotic merchandise now, or the deep state wins.
Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show, and that's on the 4 Liberty Network. Happy Friday, everybody. How's everybody feeling today in the chat?
We've got a lot of new people in the chat today.
It's nice to see it. And speaking of new people, there's my smoking hot, redheaded libertarian wifey, Stephanie.
Hello, I'm OG.
She OG, yes. We're having a great time this morning hanging out with everybody in the chat. And if everybody in the chat click the like button, well, we would have hundreds of likes. So do us a favor, guys. Click that like button over there in the Rumble chat. If today's your first time, you're one of those newbies hanging out with us today for the first time, do click the follow button as well. Hang out with us Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. That is the show's schedule. So if you're like me and you're getting forgetful as you hit middle age or above, click the follow button so you won't forget. You'll get an alert on your mobile phone whenever we go live. Cancel culture. I thought we were done with this.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is president now.
Right.
Canceling is over. Well, maybe we need to just flip the script. We need to cancel a bunch of lefties until they learn their lesson.
I think Trump would be fine with that.
I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe it's time to just let it go altogether. My next guest...
Don't cancel anybody?
Don't cancel anybody. Maybe cancel... I don't know. Well, you know what? We need an expert on this one, right? We need somebody with like 120 IQ and above to comment on this. He's a regular guest on the show now. His name's Devin Erickson, and he's joining us live here on the Wake Up America show to chat with everybody today about his cancellation. No! Good morning, Devin. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Morning Pineapples. And thank you to Pulp Fiction Buff, Rise and Freedom. He donated $10 to the chat. Nice.
Thank you.
Solar Ray Pete says we need to roast Fetterman. Keep that on the back burner. We'll do that in a little bit.
Okay.
We got to roast Fetterman and Anthony Weiner. Good to see you, Devin. Your book Theft of Fire was entered into a publisher's competition. The left freaked out because you're a right wing, you're a conservative, you're a Nazi, you're a homophobe, you're everything terrible because you're not Joseph Stalin. What's the story? Give us give us not the Theft of Fire length version. Give us the Reader's Digest version, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, I found out about it when I indirectly heard, "Oh, you've been banned from this competition," and my reaction was, "Wait, what competition?" Completely unaware that my wife had entered me because it was a relatively minor, and she handles the small publicity stuff. So apparently they had been having this all-out civil war over whether to ban me or not over on Blue Sky in their private Discord. And they drew up this whole code of conduct and then banned me for retroactively violating it, which apparently it doesn't actually contain anything in there that I did. And they didn't tell me what I did for a while. And then later on, I managed to hear through the rumor mill that I had been banned for things that I wrote on Twitter before I was in the contest, which had nothing to do with the contest, and for people saying mean things about them for banning me after I had been banned. So I wonder which direction time flows for these people.
I mean, you're supposed to not be like having, in this country, you shouldn't be like be able to change the rules afterwards.
Yeah, how can they cancel you for something that happened after they canceled you?
Well, here's the thing. There was a code of conduct that they released after he had already been entered into the competition. So once he came in, they rewrote the rules so that they could ensure that he could not be a part of the competition. And this is all going on, and he has no idea. And this whole ocean, can you imagine? It's like opening the door and like seeing the demon screaming. And you're like, what the hell? Why did we have a demon gate in our house? You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I actually wrote sort of a vignette on Twitter about walking down the street and some weird little goblin comes up to me out of nowhere. You are banned. I'm banned from what now?
So what is your book about theft of fire? Just what's the general topic of it?
Near future hard science fiction.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
It's just a story. It's not political. In fact, some of the people who were screaming for me to be banned described it as none of that stuff is in the book, and it's annoyingly good.
So you're not like Robert Heinlein with like Starship Troopers.
Hate me.
So there's no secret fascist underlying messages like Starship Troopers or something, right?
No.
No, really? Yeah.
It's sort of openly libertarian, but of course.
Oh well, that's
why
fascist.
Yes.
Fascist. He's a fascist libertarian. I do love the argument that we're having now culturally, Devin. Yeah. Okay, calm down, audience. The argument is, I mean, I'm seeing professors with PhDs saying that Hitler was for reducing the size of government. Somebody made that argument. And that's so. How can you compete with that, right? How do you wake somebody up who's pretending to be asleep, I guess?
Well, you can't convince anyone of anything that their salary depends on them not knowing. But the thing about these internet arguments is that the target isn't the other person. You're not going to convince them of anything. You know, these brain damaged goblins are going to continue to be brain damaged goblins. But the target is the audience. So what happened when I was banned is that 8 or 9, I think 9 other authors withdrew from the contest because they didn't want to support this nonsense.
Good.
And all of us saw our sales shoot up.
Good.
Far more than they would have, we think, for winning the contest.
So I guess you owe Christine a debt of gratitude.
Oh yeah. 10 out of 10 would get canceled again. Can more people please call me a fascist?
so his wife Christine is the one who does like his bookings and promotes his book, and Devin is like, you know, the intellectual, and he's the author, and he does a lot of podcasts, and he's been on with us before. Okay. He talks a lot about cultural issues. We talked about Andrew Tate, I think, the last time he was on the show, and sort of in the concept of the cultural question of Andrew Tate, why does he exist? He exists as a pure pendulum reaction from this hard swinging of the left in this country. And as I think we can say right now, Devin, is that it's going to take a while for the country to kind of get out of it. I mean, you saw that like the NFL is still doing DEI. Some of these corporations, I think they've made a lot of investments, for example, into DEI, and they think that if Trump goes away, that this all goes away. They may be right, but I mean, as long as we continue the momentum right now, I mean, any of the DEI buggers or these weird cancel culture people, I mean, they're increasingly becoming the fringes of society, not us, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing to understand is that most of this stuff isn't sincere, and it never was. Most people's opinions enter through their ears. And a lot of these large organizations, especially, they simply try to align themselves to whatever they perceive the prevailing balance of power to be. Mm-hmm. So I think that a lot of them are going to bend the knee very quickly. And I think this particular thing that happened to me is just an example of that, because if you look at the outcome, cancel culture is being canceled. Mm-hmm. You know, I did better off being canceled than I would have by winning the contest.
Right.
And, you know, that was partially people like, oh, okay, who is this guy? Maybe I'll check out his book. Oh, I want to send a message that this kind of thing is not okay, and I don't like this. But there's also, this author is not one of the woke crowd that's going to pull me in promising a novel, and then halfway through the author pops up and it turns into a lecture.
Right.
Very, very that. Yeah, no, for sure. And it's just we live at such in such interesting times, don't we? Because it feels like a bit of the last gasp. But Stephanie and I were talking about this just a few minutes before you came on, and it's that the left, they're going to fight back. Eventually, they're going to fight back. Right now, we're scoring touchdown after touchdown, and it's a little bit kind of almost like the Harlem Globetrotters. I like to use that as an example of what we're dealing with the left. Is just being totally dominated. But they could come back, and when they do come back, usually they do, it could be something even nastier or far worse. I don't know if you're very good at prognosticating, Devin, but I wonder if you have any thoughts as to where what's going to be the weak spot. Where do you think what are the weak spots that the Democrats could exploit in our rightward drift at the moment?
Well, obviously, these pendulum swings have happened throughout history, but I think what we need to look at with this situation is when we look at U.S. aid in particular and what the DOGE team are exposing, we start to understand that there aren't as many real hardcore leftists as we think, as we thought. They're not this kind of, close parity with sane people in the population of the country. A lot of it's smoke and mirrors. A lot of these people were rent-a-moms. We're starting to learn that the riots of 2020 were paid for by our taxes. So I think what we've been seeing in the immediate past is a lot of the use of misappropriated taxpayer dollars to fund the illusion of consensus. And this goes back to what I said about how most people get their opinions through their ears. The goal of cancel culture, the goal of this left-wing censorship of every social media platform that they tried to implement, the goal was not to convince you. The goal was to make you think that you are alone.
Yeah.
Now
it's
we
true.
know that we are not alone.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I truly thought that the left was going to win this election. I really did. And I felt alone in how I was believing.
Well, because she's surrounded by me and my crowd, and we're all like, we're going to get Trump to win. We got to get Trump to win. So we're like, and I had a feeling Trump was going to win, but Stephanie was on the other side.
I really didn't think so,
She
because
thought Kamala was gonna
social
take
media and the news, they made it seem like the left was going to be successful.
Devin, the polls, for the love of God, the polls were telling us Kamala was going to win.
Well, the polls have been lies for decades.
Lies.
It's all lies. It's all smoke and mirrors. But the vast majority of Americans are normal people who want to do normal people shit. And once they find out they're not alone, they very quickly express the sentiment that we are sick of these brain-damaged goblins trying to lecture us all the time.
Okay, now this conversation is going to take a hard right turn right about now, because the way you said that, Devin, you said that, most Americans are normal. But the last time you and I had a conversation, we admitted that we're not normal. And the way that discussion came through was because we were having a conversation about religion. And we were talking about how you and I are not, are particularly religious. But we think that most normal people probably need religion. They probably need it. And so
it's probably good for them.
Probably good for them, yes. And while admitting that we don't need it, right? It's
not good for you.
It's probably good for us that they have it.
Right, sure. But personally for us, we choose not to practice, not to partake, right? So in a way, it's it's an elitist view to suggest,
it's for you, but not for me.
It's for you, normal people, something like that. Because, and the way this conversation is going to take a right turn, and trust me, my audience would be mad if I didn't, tell them that this is how this went down. I'm not surprising Devin by revealing something that he wasn't ready to talk about, but Stephanie was particularly interested in it, as anybody might be.
I'm very intrigued.
But Devin, you are. Is it fair to say a bigamist? Is that the technical word to use? I mean, you have two wives. What's
more of a hugeist?
What is the way? How would you describe your view in regards to marriage?
Well, I don't think this is an expression of any sort of ideological view for me. This just kind of happened to us, and it works. I was with someone, and we met someone else we both liked, and You know, I'm just doing what a lot of men would do if they could get away with it.
You are living the man's dream. That's what I said to Austin. I was like, every man would want this
She
scenario.
says that because I told her this last night. She says that. I'm like, you don't understand, Stephanie. Most women are not like you. They're not really nice and loving and kind and forgiving. Like, you have to understand that, like, a large percentage of women are horrible people. And so if you had two horrible people in your life, it would be double the misery. So you'd have to get very lucky to have two wonderful
it sounds like
women.
you're very lucky yourself if all of you like each other.
Yeah, well, wherever your relationship is going, adding a third person will get you there faster.
Okay, gotta get you there fast. Okay, so but would you say
this can be good or bad?
Yes.
So
yes.
would you say, Devin, though, that like it's probably for most people, and for us, for them to engage in like a more traditional form of marriage or a relationship, you know, as according to the religious principles that we think they should have. You know, that'd be good for them if they want them.
Yeah, well, you know, they chose those religious principles. You know, people aren't marched into churches at gunpoint. They go voluntarily because what they experience there is something that they believe is good for them. And who better to judge what is good for them than those people themselves? You know, what I'm looking at is this kind of pattern where, you know, even in the medieval era, the early Renaissance, when the Catholic Church had this total cultural hegemony, intellectuals were allowed, you know, sort of by looking the other way, to write very, very heretical things, so long as they wrote in Latin. Because this means, oh, this is stuff for other intellectuals. We're not trying to deconvert, you know, the peasants. And what we found is what I've seen when I look at this throughout history is that you always have some fringe of intellectuals where some of them are religious and some of them are not. Because when you are a very smart person who thinks for a living, you know, you have on the shelf this sort of prepackaged set of morals and values and life outlook. And you can take that and you can say, this is cool, I want this. Or you can take that off the shelf and you can kind of unpack it a bit and you can fiddle with it and say, okay, here's my version of this. Or you can leave it on the shelf and make your own. But most people, you know, for people who have other stuff to do and people who do not sit around philosophizing as a hobby, it's very good for a culture to have this sort of pre-agreed general set of values. So, lest I upset any religious people who are listening, let me offer you an olive branch. I said that atheism is for smart people. I did not say that Christianity is for stupid people. There are many, many, many very smart Christians who arrived at Christianity for being smart. What I'm saying is that philosophical people have options, and, you know, people who are too busy doing practical stuff, well, they generally like to go to church, and that's generally good for them.
Steffi, you know, this is your chance. I know you were super interested in this subject, so I'm going to give you the floor if you'd like to talk to him or ask him any questions.
Oh,
Now's your chance.
Well, how would you say is the best way to make having multiple wives work? If somebody wanted to get into that type of arrangement, what would be your advice to that person? How do you make it work?
Well, if someone came and told me, I want to get into this kind of arrangement, I would say, you've kind of got that backwards. Because a relationship is something that you have with people. You don't seek out a relationship structure and then find people to sock it into it.
Right.
You know.
So it just kind of
obviously,
happens.
Yeah, most men's reaction to this is, you know, is predicated on certain ideas they have about what happens.
I'm sure.
And that's none of anybody's business. But to me, the real advantage is that you have a family that is three people. And, you know, whenever you have a problem, two other people have that problem with you.
Yes.
And you more people to share the burdens and the excitement when you succeed. So for me, the real appeal is just that three is a crowd. That's kind of nice.
Is it inherently patriarchal? Does it need to be like a pyramid in the sense with like kind of you at the top calling the shots, or can it be more communistic? Is it more communistic?
Yeah, more equal in terms of roles?
Or would you suggest that it more is like, you know, patriarchal with you as playing like the traditional role of a provider, and then they are acting the traditional role of a woman? And is that the best arrangement? Maybe it's just for you, but you know, what you would recommend. But how does that work in terms of traditional gender roles?
Well, I don't know what the range of things is that is possible. I think probably many things are possible, and people are probably going to work out for themselves what works for them if they decide to discard the prepackaged way of life. But, you know, one of the things that I notice is that every successful culture is patriarchal.
Okay.
And patriarchy doesn't mean rule by men. It means rule by fathers. Fathers being the people who have really the most investment in the future of society. So I think that there's a reason that men often end up in charge, and that's because we are the sex that is actually, you know, instinctively driven to go out and hunt, and women are much less risk takers. It has nothing to do with capabilities. It has to do with inclinations.
Yes.
If we look at the genetic record, we find that 87% of the women who ever lived have descendants that are alive today, compared to, I believe, and I'm quoting from memory, so if someone wants to spurg out and correct me, that's fine. I believe it's 32% of the men. And what this means is that in order to successfully reproduce, men had to be risk takers. They had to excel. Whereas women just had to not really screw up or get unlucky. So what this means in the modern era with our modern gene pool is that women are much more risk averse, and men are much more risk takers and much more ambitious. So men tend to gravitate to leadership roles. And I think one of the things that we've seen with the recent woke culture is that people said to themselves, a certain small group of people said to themselves, oh, that's not fine. That's not okay. It shouldn't be that way. Surely the women have been held back all throughout history, and we need to correct this oppression. And they create this whole false narrative where they're characterizing women making choices as oppression because the women aren't making the choices they want the women to make.
Interesting. Anything else, Steffi?
So,
good.
I don't think too much. I don't want to obviously get too personal. I've watched the polygamy shows on TV, so that's pretty much all I know in my head. So.
Well, and don't you? I mean, you're a therapist, so you probably speak to people. I mean, polyamory is very popular.
Yeah, I mean,
now.
I've worked with a lot of people who are polyamorous or who have open relationships, and they talk a lot about jealousy.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there.
Yeah,
I'm going to stop you there. A multiple relationship is not an open relationship.
Right.
And that is something where where I see this confusion a lot.
Yeah.
Because people run around saying, I'm polyamorous.
Right.
And what they really mean is, I'm a hoe. And I want to fancy word for that.
Right. They're just physically.
So I don't have to
people.
confront that reality.
Right. You actually have true, loving, supportive relationships.
Yeah, this is a family.
Yes.
You know?
Do you all have children together?
We do not.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that is so awesome. I mean, I'm so intrigued by the lifestyle in
Devin,
general.
thanks for humoring us this morning, sir. I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you so much for giving us some insight into your life.
My beautiful wife, she has such a curious spirit, and I like to indulge her, but we try and be as respectful as possible.
Absolutely.
But we're curious. We're normal people. But Devin, you're a fascinating guy, Devin, and I really I love following your story of what's going on with you, because I feel like you're kind of one of those personalities. You're one of those people that I feel like is like on the verge of breaking out into the mainstream.
Yes.
Like you're one of those people that I kind of like have identified as an extremely high intelligence, very talented. Mm-hmm. And I just really think like we're like months away from Devin Erickson having 1 million followers on X or something. So.
How many books have you written?
Theft of Fire is actually the first one. I'm working on the sequel.
Okay.
We're somewhat behind schedule on that because Sarah had a little brush with cancer.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Well, we're kind of coming out of it now.
Good.
It's modern medical technology is much better than it was several decades ago.
Yes, yes.
Even stage 4 cancer is no longer a death sentence.
Wow.
But
Yes.
we had some months there where we really got reminded of what's important.
Absolutely.
And there were other things I had to focus on than writing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I do hope to get the sequel out sometime this spring. Progress is once again being made.
Are you going to let Christine enter you into competitions anymore?
Oh, yeah. I hope this happens again.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was good.
Not only did I sell more books than I would have sold from winning the competition, it's just an amazing source of entertainment and vindication, hearing sort of second or third hand about these people melting down at first because I existed and had opinions, but then afterwards because their weapon of choice wasn't working anymore. Mm-hmm. So
Devin
it was
Erickson,
great fun.
Devin Erickson, you
ran out
are
of popcorn.
you are a science fiction author, an engineer, a sharpshooter, part-time demon prince of Zinch. And if you go to his X profile at Devin_Erickson, SEN, with another underscore, then you might be confused when you see the profile picture, but he is, I can confirm, not a cat. Not a cat.
Not a cat.
So, Devin, you're a good guy, and thank you to Christine for setting up the interview. We wish you the best of luck not getting into certain competitions or being canceled in the future. And your book, Theft of Fire, is available at Amazon and many fine bookstores. Thanks so much for giving us your time and for being so candid with us. On the hold it up for us one more time so people can recognize the cover there when they go get it. There we go. Theft of Fire by Devin Erickson. Get a copy of it, and we'll be grateful to have you back on again soon, Devin. And best of wishes and good health to you and your family.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, let's give him a round of applause. Great interview. Interesting conversations, right, Steph?
Yes, he's so nice, and I truly appreciate him being open to discuss more personal matters. I never want to,
it's delicate,
offend anyone or make them feel uncomfortable, because I know I'm very private
Didn't
myself.
you want so badly to be like, do the women have sex with each other?
Right. It's like, obviously those more physical questions, that's private. It's none of my business, but I know that
you're not going to not think about it.
On the reality shows, like we've heard of the term throuple, for example.
Yes.
Like that's that trendy term, right? But it truly sounds like he has a very special situation in that these individuals truly love each other.
Yeah,
and
like
they're
it doesn't
all
seem
there
like
to
it's
support each other.
Yeah, like it doesn't sound like it's entirely motivated by lust, right?
No,
Where,
it's not like Cody Brown on the polygamy show that I watch. All of his wives divorced him.
Yeah.
They ended up divorcing him.
Yeah. So I mean, I wonder what our audience thinks of that conversation. Have you guys clicked the like button yet? We'd be glad to have you click that like button. Support the Wake Up America show. It's Friday, Freedom Family Friday, when my wife Stephanie joins us on the show, and we're glad to have Stephanie here.
Thank you. But I really have found that truly smart people lead really interesting lives. They have really different hobbies and ideas about the world.
Yes, they do. So we've got 2 more stories we have to cover, Stephanie, but we have to take a quick little break. We got to go pee for liberty. But when we get back, Steph, we got to cover Anthony Weiner.
Oh.
And then we got to talk about divorced women who anonymously reveal the hard realities of marriage.
We'll say if these are legit or not.
Okay, we'll talk about those when we get back. It's the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network.
Are you tired of the strange radioactive effects of leftist culture? Do you ever wonder what happened to good old-fashioned American values? Well, fear no more, because there's a new force fighting back against the cultural rot of today. Introducing Culturama, a right-of-center talk show that's taking back the future today. Hosted by none other than blonde bombshell herself, Daniela Pensack. She's not just talking, she's taking culture back. With sharp takes, brilliant guests, and a few surprises along the way. Tune in to the live video podcast twice a week, because the future doesn't have to be weird. It can be Culturama.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about how I'm so immensely grateful for all of the work that has gone into advancing abortion rights. Obviously, voters protected the right to abortion in our state's constitution. Here in the legislature, we've been expanding that right and the accessibility to it, but there's a lot more work to do. So the anniversary of Roe v. Wade is a really good time to reflect on everything that we've gotten done, but also acknowledge that we still have our work cut out for us. I just wanted to take...
That's Representative Lori Pohutsi, who announced that due to the incoming Trump administration, that she was self-sterilizing.
How do you do that? How do you sterilize yourself?
Well, you go to, so you have somebody else do it. You don't do it to yourself.
Like put a coat hanger?
No, God. No, she just, you get a hysterectomy, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Yes, I have known people actually who have gotten hysterectomies for that reason. It's permanent birth control.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But a hysterectomy, it's not that easy to just be like, okay, cool, I'll get a hysterectomy and life will be great, because it puts you in menopause afterwards. So you have to have hormonal replacement therapy a lot of times, because basically your body thinks you're an old woman at that point. So you're going to be all dried up,
That's sad.
At least that's what I heard.
Yeah, Lori Pohutsi. She says, just under 2 weeks ago, I underwent surgery to ensure I would never have to navigate a pregnancy in Donald Trump's America. I refuse to let my body be treated as currency by an administration that only sees value in my ability to procreate.
I mean, that's why we're here on this planet. I hate to say it, but we are human.
So here's the thing. Do it.
Right. Absolutely.
All right, get your tubes tied. Get the hysterectomy.
I actually have heard that argument by the left before, and they say, why not let us get abortions? Do you really want more of us in this world?
Well, that's different. No, I don't. Well, I don't want you to kill your children no matter how evil you are, because I don't believe in the sins of the father.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. It's not the child's fault that the mother is an immoral piece of shit.
Right, and it is a little bit tabula rasa in that you can probably influence the child and show them other ways other than the left.
Yeah, well, it's like Vladimir Lenin said, give me the boy and I'll give you the man, right? A lot of it has to do with the way that you're raised,
Absolutely.
right? So I think it's probably 50-50. It's probably...
So I'd say put all of the left babies into an adoption facility and have conservatives adopt them.
There you go. So, well, that's what happens.
Yes.
You see, the people who, like, the Democrats are always like, well, who's going to take care of the babies that are born, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, there are so many people who want children.
It's conservatives.
Yes.
That are the ones who go out there and want to have kids, right? And they adopt children. So that's what you'll find. And, the people who run, like, like Ryan and...
Oh, yeah, Rebecca,
Ryan. Right? They do, what's it called?
Fostering. First they foster, right? And then they have adopted some of their foster children.
And Rebecca's very religious, right? So it tends to be the Christian, religious, conservative types that are the ones who want to adopt. So, yeah, you could, tabula rasa. If you do get liberals not murdering their babies and you let them be adopted by conservatives, I think you're probably going to, more often than not, end up with a child who's raised properly and will be that will tend to be more conservative rather than liberal. So Varagon RX over in the chat. What's up, Varagon?
You're new as well.
Would you bless me with something?
Is Entropy Nomad in the chat today? Do you see Entropy Nomad in there?
I haven't seen Entropy.
Okay, because Entropy has been awesome, gifting all these subs.
I know.
I just want to talk to Entropy and just thank him.
We just got to give a big shout out because he's just been so generous in the chat lately, and I just want to say thank you, and also say, hey, it's the end of the week. It's Friday. I know payday for a lot of people. Can you bless us with something?
Right, we're not. Unfortunately, we're missing some of our Twitter monetization money.
Yeah, so we're losing money, right? Because every day that I lose my X account, it's a portion. It's like when YouTube demonetized me, except it's worse. X is like my big channel.
Absolutely.
So I've lost access to X. And it would be great if you guys could help to dull the pain. Just make a Rumble Rant donation and help to support the Wake Up America show. If you become a monthly sub, that's even better, obviously. We would be very grateful. You can do so on Rumble, and then you unlock all the emojis and things like that in the chat, which is cool. Alternatively, you can go to wakeupAmericaShow.com. And there's the support button. You just click it, and you can become like a $5 a month subscriber. If you want to get on the Peterson's Christmas card list, then become a Peterson's Patriot at $17.76 a month.
And all levels will get a 20% off discount for the shop for as long as you're a subscriber.
There you go. So there is benefits and privileges, not just drink more Ovaltine, a crummy commercial, but it's a great community of people, and we have more than just the Wake Up America show. You're helping to support the next phase of the Liberty Movement online. So please do support us financially by either making a contribution or becoming a monthly subscriber. We'd be very grateful for that. All right. And of course, visit forlibertyshop.com because we have the best merch. And my God, somebody bought like $300 worth of mugs or something this morning on the shop.
I know.
It was some crazy amount of Gulf of America merch they bought this morning. Everybody loves the Gulf of America merch.
They do. And I think other companies are trying to actually copy that idea as well.
Oh, for sure.
So.
Yeah. Brad made some beautiful bags, right? I designed this American flag shark with the Gulf of America symbol, and then we put it on we put it on everything.
Oh, yes.
And everybody loves it, man. The Gulf of America beach towels, Gulf of America thermoses and water jars and cups and things.
We need to make a MAGA strip beach towel and a MAGA strip bag for the people going on the trips to Israel.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they can bring that with them. MAGA strip right there. You're sure to probably get in trouble by somebody.
All right. Well, shalom. After squandering NYC's trust, Anthony Weiner is determined to rise again.
You know, I think at this point in his life, he's like, what other scandal could possibly come out that is worse than people seeing my, you know what?
Check the temperature of the room.
Oh, it's 66 in her room.
Oh, that's okay. That's not going to kill the room, but just keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
So Anthony Weiner is apparently trying return to grace again in considering a run for office for the city council seat there in his district in New York City. I love this interview. He says, Anthony Weiner met me for breakfast. He ordered toast, 2 eggs, corned beef hash, and a third chance at politics. But before we broke bread at Cozy Soup and Burger, he made a prediction that I would refer to him as disgraced in the headline or the first line of this column. It felt like part provocation, part defense mechanism. Get the punches over with. Rip off the Band-Aid. After all, he has a lot of self-inflicted wounds. So in 2011, then Congressman Anthony Weiner, and this was when I was working at Fox, tweeted a close-up photo of his underwear-clad crotch. So he publicly tweeted this.
So it wasn't like his bare actual part? It was actually with clothes on?
It was with clothes on.
Oh, that's not bad.
You're a congressman, sitting congressman.
Yeah.
And you're posting a photo of yourself in your underwear. The only people who are allowed to do that are Anna Paulina Luna and who's the chick? Lauren Boebert from Colorado. They're the only 2 people in Congress that are allowed.
I mean, you know, thinking about all the scandals out there, like, that's really not that bad. I thought it was like the actual shot his private part.
We're not done.
Okay.
So he resigned from office. In 2013, he ran for mayor, and his win was kind of inevitable. He was going to win. And then it emerged that he was sexting with women who weren't his wife. His wife is Huma Abedin, and she was Hillary Clinton's top aide.
Oh, boy.
And so there was a problem. So when he was sexting with women who weren't his wife, he was using the name Carlos Danger.
Oh, goodness. Everyone has to have their alter ego, right?
Mitt Romney had one. I can't remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was also cheating on his wife?
No. But he had an alter ego on Twitter that people found out who it was. But it was I think it was also a Mexican sounding name as well, kind of a thing. Like,
see,
it was
all
like
these white men want to be Mexicans.
And all these Mexicans want to be white men.
Yes.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. White people want to be ethnic and ethnic people want to be white. Nobody's happy with what they are. You know, it's just
that
sad.
needs to be a new movie idea where you switch bodies like Freaky Friday. You switch bodies with the person who's not your race.
I'm proud of who I am. Just don't say white pride or white power because don't say it because then you end up like Whitey White's like
Well, we've always talked about men in power. They have women literally begging them for attention. So I'm sure because he was a congressman, women wanted him. I know it's hard to resist.
Well, he's like an addict, though, because he was it was like a lot of women. And here's the thing. It's like he's married, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you're married and you're going around like this. I mean, and then posting photographs of yourself and you thought you weren't going to get caught. So then he finished 5th in the primary, right? And then here's the thing. In 2017, he got convicted, he pleaded guilty. Yeah, so he got convicted to sexting with a teenager. So an underage teenager.
I don't know if he has children, but if he does, that's really icky.
He went to prison for 15 months. Yeah. And then here's the thing. I'm working in the Fox News building, which is the same building as the New York Post. Mm-hmm. And dude, it was so funny because all the headlines that I'm reading, you're working at Fox, so you see all these headlines, and then you're seeing all of these. You're seeing all of the New York Post headlines like before they come out, and you're hearing them. And we are in the control room at the television station. I mean, screaming laughter I can hear coming out of the other control rooms, and we're all laughing because it's headlines like "Weiner exposed." And,
oh my goodness!
And instead of smoking gun, it's stroking gun. Oh my God!
The fact that his last name is Weiner, it was just making him destined for some sort of sexual problem.
Yeah, Ike giving a shits. He loves us. He says Peterson Patriots, gives us $10. Have a great weekend.
Oh, I talked to Ike giving a shits on the phone.
I know. He's amazing.
Yes, he is.
Gulf of America merch is awesome. He says, love the shark, Austin. Aww. No more Weiner. Anthony, ex-wife dates Andrew Soros. Carlos Danger is cool, gotta admit.
Oh, his wife, divorced him.
Yeah, Huma Abedin. But I guess his ex-wife, Huma, dates Andrew Soros, who's kind of like the son of the devil. So a lot to unpack there. Hey, Ike, thanks for your generosity, man. Please do bless us with something, guys. Rumble Rants would be very grateful. The week started strong and ended pretty crappy. So we'd be grateful if you guys would make a donation or become a monthly sub, just like Ike Giving a Shits is. Okay? Yes. Whitey White saw a meme channel on Twitter that had American Indian wearing one of AP's Caucasian football shirts. Yay! Have you seen?
Cool.
People have. Not everybody knows that that's our shirt.
People should wear that to the Super Bowl. Anybody who has that shirt.
Oh my God! There. Yes, Stephanie.
That would be awesome.
That would be a great idea.
You could get on the camera.
I don't think we could get it to him in time.
The audience.
Oh yeah. So we have actually a whole collection, Stephanie.
Yeah, we haven't talked about this in a while.
Every once in a while, this meme goes viral, and it's just a meme that says, just an average Native American celebrating his favorite sports team, the Caucasians. The Caucasians.
Maybe we should send that to that guy from DOGE.
Yeah, we could send that to the guy for Caucasians. Oh, the racist kid, Marco Ilez,
he would
or
like
whatever.
That. Or Whitey White. White, do you want our Caucasian
I don't know
shirt?
why the collection doesn't pop up there. BB for Liberty. Why doesn't the Caucasian collection pop up when we search for it? I don't know. But look at this. We've got the shirt. We've got large sizes, like super large sizes for people who really need the big ones.
We know Caucasians like to eat.
Yes, but this is the masterpiece. So I designed this men's baseball jersey. Is one. Like, look at that. That looks like a legit. And then on the back, you've got the Caucasians logo there.
Oh, my goodness.
We've only sold one of them, but I'm really proud of it. We also have team magnets. We've got sweatshirts, frosted pint glass. Imagine giving your buddy a beer and the glass, and you just don't. Here's what you need to do. Buy the Caucasians team frosted glass, and then just give your buddy a beer or drink in it, and don't say anything. Just hand it to him. See what he says. Watch his facial expression. But here's the thing. Once we started up the Caucasians, then everybody wanted in on it. So then we expanded it with the team of its identity politics, right? So Christians. We've got our Protestant America Christian bro. We've got our Catholic bro. And we've got our Jesus bro. So Christians, in nomine Patris, team jersey, available at forlibertyshop.com. And since the Mexicans, they take a lot of crap. The Mexican Chad Ultimate Team t-shirt. So if you are Carlos, all our Carlos Dangers out there, Jose, Sarah, Any other Hispanics, Mexicans in the stream? I like the Mexicans Chad shirt. I think it's good looking.
Cute.
I think it's good looking. Honestly, that's beautiful yellow.
And maybe our nephew Mario could wear it.
Yeah, you know what? Let's get Mario this shirt, this Mexican's Chad
His next
shirt.
Christmas gift.
Oh, dude, it would be so funny. Only one person has bought the shirt for the gays, for the people who still want to identify as the gays, and that is my brother, Justin, who has the gays. But it's got two Chads kissing. So we're equal opportunity roastings. Indians
that is
there
so nice.
for the Pajeets.
Yeah, I don't think the Doge man would like that one because this is not Indian hate. This is Indian pride.
Yes. So Indians, no Indian hate here. We're not going to normalize Indian hate on this show. We're going to normalize Indian love. So if you're Indians, somebody specifically requested reptilians. That's fine. I actually really like this one. This is like kind of one of my favorites, but it's like underprivileged, underrecognized. The colonizers. And it's the Pilgrim, Chad Pilgrim.
Oh my goodness.
We came, we saw, we gentrified.
Oh.
Colonizers.
Yeah.
And
so sad.
And then here's for your people, Stephanie. The Jews.
Oh, and then we have a tribe shirt as well. That is
the
for
tribe.
the Jews.
Yes. I picked the most Jewish font.
Like Hebrew letters.
Yeah, Hebrew looking letters that I could find. Chad, the Jew, Chads. And then because we don't want to get murdered, maybe that's racist, it's just the minorities.
There you go. We love everybody equally.
There we go. Oh, yeah, there you go. The tribe. There you go. The tribe. So available exclusively at forlibertyshop.com. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Support the show and support your tribe, your team at forlibertyshop.com with our Caucasians merch. There you go. If you guys have problems finding it, Seesaw Garoth, he's the chat's a little slow. It says, no, the Jews. Yes, we got the Jews. Next on the list before we go, Stephanie, are you okay with, is she still sleeping, little baby Hazel?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, it's Friday. Let's do a little overtime. Is that okay?
Sure. We can do that. We got to talk about divorce.
You can, yes. Divorced women, this is BuzzFeed, divorced women anonymously revealed the hard realities about marriage that no one is talking about. Okay.
I love it.
There we go. That no one talks about. And it's gut wrenching.
Okay.
And it's gut wrenching. So this is the quote. Here we go. Liz Richardson, she is on the team of the minorities. She would wear the minorities shirt. Mm-hmm. Liz Richardson says, most men see us as their mother, not the co-parent in their home. We parent, they babysit. There's an unattainably high bar for women and ridiculously low expectations placed on fathers. Also, they get to walk away and regain their previous single life when they divorce. We don't get to do that.
I do hear that a lot from women. In terms of household duties, women always say, they make me do all of the normal womanly roles. I have to cook and clean and take care of the kid. And my husband, he just works and then he comes home and he's tired and I still have to give the kid a bath. And so they do get frustrated with that, where they feel like the husband's not contributing. Mm-hmm. But, I've really gotten comfortable with my womanly role. I like to do cooking. I like to do cleaning. Those are the things I'm good at. Talk about division of labor, right? Do the things that you are most good at. So if I like to take care of a baby, I'm really good at that. So it's like I wouldn't expect you to do something that you don't enjoy if I enjoy it. And I know for a man is hardwired to be a provider. That is what gives them their confidence. So you can't take that away from a man and be like, okay, be the childcare worker in the home. I know there are some stay-at-home dads, and kudos to them, but I would definitely wonder if that takes away from their self-esteem, being a stay-at-home dad and having their wife go out and be a provider.
Probably. Yeah.
I bet it does. And they might not admit that.
Mm-hmm. Do you agree with Whitey White that there's a lot of penis envy on women's behalf?
I think so. I mean, just thinking about it, yeah, I think sometimes, sure, I wish that I could be like a man and just be able to work and not have to have Hazel distracting me all the time, right? Because a man, you do get that luxury, I'd say, during the day where, I definitely take over for Hazel. So sure, there's something in my head that wonders what it would be like if I got to just have complete peace and quiet. But I think at the end of the day, if I did switch roles with you, I would feel like something's missing and I would almost feel bad. Like I need to take care of the child. That is my role because I feel like it's ingrained in me that I am that caregiver. I am that housewife.
Yeah, that's your nature.
Yes.
I mean, you are a caregiver by your nature itself.
Yes.
I mean, just
for others, just in general. Like
Right.
I used to care for my mom a lot. Yes. So that's just my personality.
So we've got this list. This is the BuzzFeed list talking about, well, these are women who have gotten divorced, talking about what was the hardest part of marriage. They said the hardest part was losing your individuality and accepting a new identity. Women are still pressured to take on the spouse's last name, whether it suits them or not. Especially when kids enter the picture, your identity changes to wife, mom, cook, cleaner, shopper, household organizer, caregiver, nurse, and therapist. You take on all these new rules with zero pay and no appreciation because it is expected of you. When we were at the gym the other day and I was spotting you, I said, boy, you're a super mom. You're so strong. I was like cheering you up, right? Pepping you up. But then you're like, I forgot I'm a mom.
I know. And I really focused on that before we had Hazel. I said, I'm almost feeling like I'm saying goodbye to myself. I was grieving the person that I was before I became a mother because I thought that I would lose everything that I had, including my job, including my hobbies. And so I was really scared of that. And so now that I'm a mom, I realized I didn't have to lose everything. It's still there. It's just different. And so I certainly did go through a grief period. I remember telling you about that, where I was saying goodbye to my body. I never thought my body would look the same again. I never thought I'd be able to still be a therapist. I thought I'd have to say goodbye to that completely. But you can make it work. It's okay. It's just another stage in life. And the thing about changing your name, before I met you, I was definitely mixed in terms of if I would change my name or not, because it is changing your identity. I was always known as Stephanie Cole. That was me for my entire life, for 30 some odd years, right? So it is weird to then be known as somebody else. But once I changed my last name, I actually found I kind of like that because it's almost like starting your history on the internet over again. So it's like when somebody types in your name, right? They're not going to see your old maiden name stuff. They just see you now and in the future.
So it's kind of like a nice, fresh, clean slate.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way of thinking about it. Okay, nice. The number 2 thing that a woman had listed about the things that were difficult in marriage. Now, this is a divorced woman. The loneliness. I learned about his likes and dislikes, his children's likes and dislikes, and everyone's needs. I planned and executed holiday get-togethers and birthdays, worked on his projects with him, and accompanied him to his doctor appointments and family and community activities. Almost none of this attention and care was returned. Not only that, but he was angry if I spent time on my health, with my friends, or enjoying my hobbies. Everything had to revolve around him, and he was constantly singing his own praises about what a good partner he was. This is a 56-year-old woman from New York. Your reaction?
I do hear that a lot, actually, where, women feel like they're doing everything to make their husband happy. They're taking care of the kids all the time. And then when they ask for anything from their husband, they always get pushed back. And they're like, why is it that he gets this free pass and I don't? But again, I think it has to do with your personality. My personality, I'm a people pleaser. I'm a giver. That's what makes me feel good. So I like to go to events with you. I like to work for your business. I like to boost you up. So for me, it doesn't feel weird or bad. It actually feels good. So sure, maybe we're unequal in terms of how much you give back to me or how much you help me. but I don't feel I need it or want it. I'm just one to not ask for much help. That's my personality.
Well, here's the thing. I don't like get upset if you take time to spend time on your health. Of course, we do that together.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing is like we do a lot of things together, whereas I think a lot of married people, they don't have similar interests. Mm-hmm. And so they are doing a lot of things on their own, and they don't always respect each other's different interests. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it just so happens that you and I like the same kinds of things. And I was saying to you the other day, I was like, I know that I am more risk averse, and a lot of wives in my position would be like, no, I'm not scuba diving. No, I'm not going skiing. No, I'm not doing risk-taking activities that I'm scared of. But for me, I like that challenge. So I don't mind doing those activities, whereas a lot of other women would be like, I'm staying home. We were talking about how women would just go lay on the beach while their hubby goes and scuba dives and goes and swims with sharks. Whereas I'd be like, try me.
Okay, next on the list here. Nobody tells you how quickly the years pass. This is, I can identify. 2 incomes, demanding jobs, raising kids, aging parents, health problems. There never was the right time to leave my drug/porn addicted spouse who struggled with alcoholism, and now it's too late. There's nobody to blame but myself. A bitter pill to swallow.
Yes, and I think a lot of individuals who want to get divorced, they do tend to stay in the marriage, especially for the kids. And they say, I want to wait until the kids are older, and then I'll be free. So yes, I think a lot of people just stay in it, and then life happens, and then eventually they're at the end of their life and they're like, gosh, I'm still in this relationship. I never got out because they kept just kicking the can down the road.
Yep. Quest says much more of the time it's the wife who makes her husband give up his friends and keeps his balls under the sink. It's sad. Glad Kate isn't one of those women. Yes, same with Steffi.
Yeah, I mean, when you went to Springfield the other day, I was like, please go, I encourage you to have fun. Yeah. Well, no, and I'm not like that wife either. There are so many husbands and wives where when they're both working from home together, they get tired of each other. They want each other to leave the house. They want their space. Whereas us, like at the end of the day, we're like, let's spend more time together. Let's watch Game of Thrones together. Let's cuddle together. It's like we don't get tired of each other like other people do. And I was explaining to you the other day, to make a relationship work, it truly has to be a combination of a lot of things. Chemistry is something that's unexplainable. You have to have that like physical attraction. You have to have that attraction with your soul, how you both jive together. You also have to have values in common, and you have to have interests in common, but not so many that it gets to be boring, where you guys are the same people. You have to complement each other's interests and complement each other's personalities. So true, long-lasting, successful relationships have to just be a certain, I think, an algorithm, really. There's an algorithm to make it work.
That's an interesting thought, Stephanie.
Yes.
Okay, next on this list here. Difficult things. Divorced women are talking about the hardest parts of marriage. We're in overtime today, so please do bless us with something,
Hazel
guys.
did wake up, but she seems okay for now, so I'll just leave her there for a minute.
So please do donate those Rumble rants for the little bit of extra time that we're granting to you guys. Bless us with some Rumble rants. We'd be very grateful. Number 4, when you grow and change mentally and emotionally throughout life while your husband remains the same. That's what this woman is complaining about. Divorced woman, 45 years old, from Florida. She says the hardest part of marriage was that she grew, she changed emotionally, her husband was the same.
I think a lot of women do complain about that because they're married to very normal, basic men who just like to sit at home, watch sports, go to work, collect a W-2. There's not much growth there. But you are a very different kind of man. You are constantly growing and changing and learning. So I never have to worry about that with you. Although I think this goes for any relationship, you can never expect your spouse to change. When you marry them, you have to expect that they are going to stay the exact same way for the rest of your life and be okay with it.
Right, yeah, and be okay with that.
Like
sure.
I cannot force you to change in ways that I want you to, but I know that you want to be your best self and you are continuing to to try to do that.
Yes. Sign of Jonah donated $1. He blessed us with something.
Oh, thank you.
Jonah. He says, my wife loves the hardest part of marriage.
What is that?
I'm not sure.
I don't know the hardest part of marriage.
Not quite sure.
Is that a sexual? Oh my God.
Maybe. Hey, by the way, Sign of Jonah, what on certain day, someday, I played his song.
Oh, it was an amazing song.
I don't think he was not on the stream when we played his music.
Good.
It was good. It was real good.
Really good.
Yeah, we played John Bordonero's song on that. We just want to let you know, Jonah. Thank you, by the way. L-Dubs, he's going to do it earlier, but he got swept up in work. Hail the For Liberty Network. Thank you. He donated $20. Thanks, guys. We're going into overtime. Hopefully you earn a little bit of bless us with something.
In a few minutes, I should probably go get Hazel if we're going much longer.
Well, when it's time to go get her, that's when we'll do the outro music and we'll say goodbye.
I really like this, though. This is really stimulating.
We're doing a great job. Good morning, pineapples. This is a divorced woman talking about the things that she hated about marriage. Said, discovering that you have been unofficially designated the role of the primary emotional caretaker in the relationship, providing support and managing your husband's emotional needs, which can be taxing.
Actually, I usually hear the opposite. The men have to listen to the woman crying and all of her issues for hours. And then the woman will be like, how are you? And then the man just says one sentence and then the woman keeps going on her merry way. It's definitely the opposite.
Selfish bitches.
I mean, I even know for myself. I'm sure I have a lot more emotions that I talk about during the day because as a woman, we just talk about emotions more. Men don't talk about that stuff. Mm-hmm. They carry that more so inside.
But so let's say in this sense that, they are designated the role of the primary emotional caretaker. If she is correct, managing your husband's emotional needs, are men really that emotionally complicated?
No.
Are women really having to put up with did you marry a man? Are you sure?
Right, and that goes back to, is it okay for men to have emotions? Of course, that's fine. But most of the time, men are not very needy people. Truly.
And women also, a lot of times they're so oblivious. So when we're out in public, there was this meme that's really common right now with Reels, where it shows a couple walking down the street and then you hear what their thoughts are in their head. Mm-hmm. And for the guy, it's like, all right, 2 dogs. All right, they're both on the leash. Okay. Now that one over there, this guy, if he's pretty big, but I could probably take him, stuff like that. As they're walking down the street, he's looking at all the dangers to keep, his wife safe. And then they go into the wife's mindset and she's like, she's just thinking about meanwhile we're preparing to fight a bear in case one pops out. You know what I'm saying?
I can't relate to that because I am the person that notices the rustle in the grass, and I am also the person that notices all the cotton candy around me.
You are the paranoid.
I notice everything. Yes. Just like last night. My goodness, Kelvin, in the middle of the night, he gets up and starts barking or whatever, growling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm ready to, go fight a war, basically.
So men, actually, I was reading about this last week. Men are programmed when there's a real danger that comes to the house. We have some kind of spidey sense.
I don't know if you are. Honestly, you're a sound sleeper.
No. Here's the thing. I don't think that's true because yes, I am a sound sleeper, but the thing is that I already knew what it was that he had jumped at.
Yeah.
The reason why I didn't jump out of bed and freak out is because I heard the noise that he was reacting to.
Right. So you were able to assess your environment a lot more clearly than I was
Probably.
able to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. If there had been a strange noise downstairs, then he had reacted. First things first, shut up, don't talk. Okay. Let me listen so that I can hear any subsequent noises, because Calvin runs downstairs, and if there was a person, he would continue to bark.
And George too. George is a great guard dog as well.
George would, the top of the stairs, George would also alert.
Yeah.
So in that scenario, then I would grab the AR-15 and go to work, right? So so here's the thing. So it's just a matter of what you perceive when you perceive it. There's 7 more of these things.
Oh my goodness.
And they're all really interesting and fantastic, but I think we probably need to go.
Maybe we can finish it next week.
Maybe next week, yes.
I mean, I love talking about relationships. I would say that's my passion place.
Joni Rankin says, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, never make a pretty woman your wife. Just kidding.
Not too pretty. Here's the thing. Marry an 8, and she'll probably have a good personality. But if you marry a 10, I don't know. You've known a lot of 10s. I don't know how good their personalities are.
Good morning,
Maybe
pineapples.
they do have good personalities. I don't know.
Looking very good and very nice. It's the Wake Up America show. Did you have fun today? Then don't forget to click the like button. And as you leave, where do you go? You exit through the Griff Shop. Exit through the Griff Shop. Get your Caucasians jersey. It's time. Whitey White, your time has come. White people are back in charge again. Go to 4 Liberty Shop. Just kidding. Go to 4libertyshop.com.
Soon I feel like people in society are going to be changing their names. You know, when they came over through Ellis Island back in the 1900s, they would change their name, their last name. Soon people will be changing their last name to be like Latino sounding,
yes,
or to be like ethnic.
Well, the racist DOGE kid that got fired was Marco Iles.
Right.
So who knows if that's really his name. But I don't think we should be normalizing Indian hate.
No. So that's why today on this show, I am changing my last name to Patel.
Okay, you're Patel.
Stephanie Patel.
Stephanie Patel Peterson.
Yes.
Stephanie Patel
I'm hyphenating.
Peterson. There we go.
We're going to hyphenate in the name of the Indian people.
Solidarity of the Indian people.
Yep. That's right.
Where else are you guys going to have this much fun on a Friday morning? Don't forget to exit the Griff Shop. Support the Wake Up America show. Get yourself some delicious coffee, right? Or some tea, right? Founding flavors, delicious coffee.
Or some Reverend Ducky merch as well.
Winston Churchill, yes.
We have cool Founding Fathers Ducky merch.
Winston Churchill. Oh, goodness. We should probably make this into a shirt.
I know.
There we
go.
go.
We should.
Winston Churchill rubber ducky came from the Winston Churchill Museum here in Fulton, Missouri. But we do have a great line of ducky. What's the ducky collection called?
Ducky Nation.
Ducky Nation. There you go. So Ducky Nation merch available exclusively at 4libertyshop.com. That's the number 4libertyshop.com. See you guys soon. Love you guys. See you Monday.
Free.
Yeah, be free. Does it like squeak? No.
I think she went back to sleep, maybe. She's at least not making noise.
Are you tired of the strange radioactive effects of leftist culture? Do you ever wonder what happened to good old-fashioned American values? Well, fear no more, because there's a new force fighting back against the cultural rot of today. Introducing Culturama, a right-of-center talk show that's taking back the future today. Hosted by none other than blonde bombshell herself, Daniela Pensack. She's not just talking, she's taking culture back. With sharp takes, brilliant guests, and a few surprises along the way. Tune in to the live video podcast twice a week, because the future doesn't have to be weird. It can be Culturama.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
And what is fascism? Fascism is private